Banana now. Meow. That was like a dying banana phone.
Wow. You okay there? You dying on me?
I'm not dying. That was Rum. You did that. Banana now. Banana now. Why was I thinking that was banana phone? That's definitely not banana
No,
phone.
it's
Wow.
Manamana.
Banana. I'm just all sorts of I don't know today.
You having issues there?
I don't think so, no. I'm just forgetting things, apparently.
Oh.
Well, I'm Sam.
I'm Tom.
And this is Geeks with a Podcast, presented by Geeks with Issues.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And obviously I'm forgetting shit, so once again I have issues. I feel like I don't even plan to say that, but it just works out.
You're full of... We are full of issues. I can't even say you, because I feel like that's incorrect, because it's not just you.
You need to get your...
Collective you?
Collective you.
The collective you. Like
I'm not a collector.
You could... Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
You're a collector of many things.
I don't know. I went to Mass Effect there for a second. The hive mind collectors.
My first thing is Marvel. We'll get into that one later, I guess.
Oh, yes. Yes, so don't worry. No spoilers for this yet. We will let you know when there are spoilers for Infinity War coming, but they will not be coming yet. It will happen at the end of the podcast. So anyone who wants to hear about Tom's experience with Infinity War can jump to the end of the podcast, I guess. If not, you could turn it off at the end. That way you have no spoilers. We are trying to be convenient for you.
In an inconvenient world.
Yeah, a very inconvenient world. But we don't want to be those assholes. We're already those assholes.
I mean, I already am. It's
a
work in progress.
I'm trying to back down your assholeness to help.
Well, that's why we're friends. We balance each other out to a certain degree.
I was actually just talking to my friend Sarah that I'm talking to, and I was like, yeah, he's kind of like the asshole, and then I just make fun of the shit, and then sometimes we just balance things out, and it just works. It's like a balancing act.
It is. It really is. That's life, though. Everything's kind of one way or the other. You can't have too much of one thing because then it's bad.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
We both did.
That's how it goes. But yes, we've had some interesting things happen since our last podcast. Happen in the world, happen in our lives.
Yes.
Where shall we start? We went to go work out today.
We did.
And we were doing the cardio, doing the rowboat thingamabobber thing. I don't even know what that machine's called, the rower.
Yeah, it's a rowing machine.
Yeah, rowing machine. And I looked up, and I saw this Oompa Loompa's face on the fucking TV. As normal, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it was all about fucking Oompa Loompa and Kanye again.
Yeah.
Like, how did people forget that Kanye was supporting him in the beginning, after their meeting? And, like, all these people are surprised, and they're like, oh, Kanye's now dead to me. Like, Kanye should have been dead to you years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah. Kanye disappeared for a while, but then before that, you had Kanye... when he was on the verge of going crazy the first time with the whole
Jesus shit.
Well, no, I was going to go with President Bush hates black people after Katrina. It was on there with...
Yes, I forgot about that even.
Is it Mike Myers? Guy who does gold...
Yes, yeah, Michael Myers.
Yeah. He the look on his face when that happened was fucking priceless.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, I'm a comedian and I do this kind of, I don't know where to go from here. This is
too much for even Mike Myers, the comedian, not the stabby guy.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, he did that, and then people were like, yeah, he's standing up for the black people, and now he's like, yeah, Trump, and black people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, Kanye is just all sorts of fucked up. I've never been a fan of him. I know some of his music's been okay.
Earlier stuff was good, and then you get into like Gold Digger.
Yes,
was kind of around the time where he got really popular with that song, but
and then
it was around that time where he started like everything kind of started going downhill, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember Enters in Paris. I don't like to say the word, even though I went to Bedford and I was told to. Don't do that.
When I was working in Chipotle, two of the guys that I worked with, I was pretty good friends with them, and they're like, "Come on, Tom, just say it just once." I mean, this was like a few years ago, and not even, it was like a year ago. something like that. But they were like, come on, just say it once. I'm like, no, man, no. And one guy was like, you know what? Do you say it in a song? Like if there's a song, do you say it? I'm like, no, I try not to. I just, in general, I've moved past that. I do not like to do that. And they're like, come on, man, you can say it with us. It'll be okay. I'm like, no, because the problem is if I say it with you and I get used to it, then I say it and I get my ass beat by another black guy because I said the N word because you guys said it was okay with you, and my dumb ass says it around somebody else.
It's all your fault, Tom.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be.
So in general, I just try not to. It's not my place. It's not
Exactly. I don't know.
oh my god, dude! On Netflix, Marlon Wayne has, pretty sure it's Marlon. He has a special on there now, and he talks about that like similar concept of like white people really want to say a lot of white people just really want to say the N word. They want it to be okay to say the N word, and he was joking about like making a like you can get your N word pass. Like you get a license to say it. You got to come in and prove that you can be a brother, and then they'll give you a pass. And it was funny. I totally recommend listening to that special. It was a really funny special.
All I could think of was Marlon Bundo when you said that.
That is a different Marlon, and I think that Marlon would agree that you don't need to say the N word.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, so I don't know. It's been something I've tried not to use.
Yeah.
I knew too many friends who were Caucasians, who were honkies, because I'll call myself a honky, but would play video games and just drop it hard all the time. And it's like, dude, damn, like you can't come up with a more creative word to call people.
Yeah, I mean, even that, like the times that I know I've said it, I would never go hard like that. Like, cause I know what you're talking about, because I've played with people online who do that kind of stuff. And that was never my thing. It was, if I did it, would be like, I would say it once in like a sentence, and that would be it for like maybe weeks. But even then, like I realize how bad it is. And I'm like, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's just not the best of ideas, but Bobo's playing with their flags.
Yes.
Kitty cats love this room when we open it up. But yeah, so I don't know, just that whole Kanye Trump thing, and it's just retarded. Like, everybody should just have discounted Kanye years and years ago. Why is he even making this much money? Why is he this famous? He is a piece of fucking shit in my book.
Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing the type of people who make money. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's funny because you see him do that, but like Lil Wayne and Floyd Mayweather I don't know that either of them like support Trump, but neither of them are like they look at like the Black Lives Matter thing and they go, it's not my life, it's not my problem.
Yeah,
I'm not in those streets anymore. I don't care. Like that, it's this weird.
Yeah, I don't know how controversial this will be for saying it, but I laughed my ass off when Lil Wayne was asked in that interview, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? He's like, what you talking about? Black Lives Matter. All these white people come to my shows. I didn't know that racism exists no more, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my God, Lil Wayne, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, obviously it exists, but he doesn't see it, and so he won't acknowledge it. I don't know if that's the right way to take on it, but Lil Wayne's just so Lil Wayne.
Yeah, he is. But it's one of those things, again, it's that idea of like, you don't see it, so you don't think about it, so it's not your problem.
Yeah.
And you mean it's one of those things you really see with a lot of white people. Quite honestly, a lot of white people look at it like they're like, oh, well, racism isn't a problem. I don't see racism. I'm not racist, but it does still exist. And some of those people who say that are actually racist. Again, I said it before in an earlier podcast. I think everyone is, literally everyone is racist. It's just to what degree. You know, not everyone is, I'm going to lynch you racist, but...
It's a, what do we call it? A natural instinct to have. Like, you're a mouse. You see a snake. Eat another mouse. You're not going to go around a snake, I'm betting you.
Probably, yeah.
Like, unfortunately, that's how we're built. And so there are stereotypes that have been fit before. People have seen that. And so they're like, no, I'm not going to go around that. But no, you can no longer judge on a broad basis in today's day and world. You have to judge on an individual basis. And I think the whole issue is judgmentalism, or however you would pronounce that. It's
judgmentalism is what it is. But that is essentially what racism is. I mean, it's kind of, it's a judgment. It's saying, it's same thing with sexism or being homophobic. All that. It's all judgment. You know, you're judging someone on one fact, rather than the collective. And every single time they send me down to, I'm at work and they send me into Cleveland, deep into Cleveland type areas, and they'll be like, "Oh, be be careful, it's really bad over there. And I go over there and I don't even see anybody walking on the street. Like I don't see anything at all. I'm like,
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad at all. Like I don't know, maybe I've just seen worse areas. Like yes, there's some rundown houses that makes it look really bad and really shady.
But it doesn't mean you're going to get robbed.
Right.
I mean, look at Tremont. Tremont's a nice place. There's a lot of places there. Apparently, a guy was robbed at gunpoint by 2 people with assault rifles over there. That's a nice place.
Yeah.
But you can go to the bad, quote-unquote, bad places, and no one's carrying assault rifles around.
Right. And a lot of it, I think a lot of it comes down to, especially when you go into those quote-unquote bad places, it comes down to how your
demeanor is.
Yeah, demeanor, like your interactions with people, and if you're being an asshole, you come off as an asshole, and people aren't gonna be kind to you in return.
Yeah, it's very true. That's how it goes. It's just how about you act. Don't be an asshole,
Right.
and life will be treating you better usually.
I try to keep it straightforward with people. I mean, that tends to go over the best,
Yeah,
at least with my personality.
straightforward and honest is good.
Although people don't like it when you tell them the things that they don't want to hear.
Yeah, no, that's usually bad. I never liked that. But going back to rappers, interesting thing you told me, and I had to look it up. Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could win that for music, but
Neither did I until recently.
yeah, the definition is the Pulitzer Prize is an award for achievement in newspaper, magazine, online journalism, literature, and music composition. So I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, his recent album, Damn, was what won the Pulitzer Prize.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know too much of his music, but I've heard that it's pretty good.
Yeah, the song DNA came up on one of my Pandora playlists that I was listening to, and I liked it a lot. And so I was, at the time I was picking up a lot of music, and I picked up that album. It was around the same time that Black Panther came out, because I picked up the soundtrack for that album as well, because he did a lot of the work for that.
I do remember you telling me that. I still need to see that movie. I'm going to wait till it comes out.
I mean, it's might as well. It's a good movie. I'm looking forward to getting it on Blu-ray, because I want to see the extra features and things that go into that. They did a really good job with it, and I'm curious to learn more about the creative side of how they did it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wait till you buy it then.
Might as well. That's fine.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know. I don't. You don't hear about music artists winning Pulitzer Prizes very often.
No, not that I can think of.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. Usually, you hear a Pulitzer Prize, you're thinking like a newspaper journalist.
Kendrick Lamar, Bob Dylan, Wynton Marsalis. I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
There's a lot of older people, like no one recent really. Dewey Young, Hank Williams. Man, okay, so there's been a lot of people, but no one recent at all. Like these were like 1950s, like 1930s, and wow.
I mean, it's obvious. It's probably to say that
it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often. Kendrick Lamar might be the first African American to win one.
No, there's definitely African Americans.
Are there? Okay.
Yeah, Thelonious Monk, John Coltrane, Ornetta Coleman, and Duke Ellington.
Okay.
I'm bad with names. I'm horrible with names, guys.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. If I was reading those, I'd probably butcher them just as much as you did.
But the most recent person to win it, and probably the first rapper to win it, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. That's a big achievement, I'd say.
He's a good artist, good writer and producer. I'm pretty sure he does a lot of producing and stuff too.
I just know Hobson makes fun of him a lot.
Yeah, he does.
I listen to Hobson more than I listen to Kendrick Lamar, but Hobson's kind of fallen down the wayside. I don't think any longer he was the best thing that came out of Funk Volume, and I loved Funk Volume as a rap, a rap label. But yeah, he was really fallen by the wayside. But he's had a lot of issues apparently too. He had a kid in Australia and got kicked out of Australia.
Oh,
okay.
One of my friends from New York, he actually played me the video that he wrote, the song he wrote about that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, for whatever reason, I did not put together that was Hobson.
Yep. Yeah. So
it's a good song.
Yeah, not a bad song at all. Ill Mind 8, I believe it was.
Okay.
So yeah, Hobson has his shit, but I still like Jaron Benton. I listen to Jaron Benton a lot when we work out because it's just weird, not bad rap. Some of it's bad actually, but I listen to the good songs. And it's not what you would call horrorcore rap, but it's I don't know, it's a good beat and it makes me want to work out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There's rappers for you.
Yeah.
We're somehow getting on that topic a lot too lately.
Yeah, I mean,
at least no one's been shot since our last one. That's our topic we usually bring up.
Yeah, that's usually like our bi-weekly topic of, hey, another week, another murder. No, nothing this week. At least I know nothing big or televised.
Yeah, only my orcs getting fucking murdered.
Yeah.
4-way 40K game.
Mm-hmm.
That was epic. It was good.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a
It was
lot of fun.
interesting.
It was me and Tom with his bugs, me with my orcs, our buddy Alex from Split the Party podcast. I said it right this time.
Look at you.
Shout out to Split the Party also for having 2,000 unique listens. That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
In 48 episodes, then they do one a week, so just under a year. Pretty good. I'd say they won an achievement.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then our buddy Evan, who plays Dark Eldar, and Alex played Tau. And it was a pretty interesting matchup, the way that game went. We did 500 points on a 4x4 battle board, threw out some terrain, everybody put down terrain, and it was pretty even. And we were like, all right, I'm going to put this here, you put that there, yeah, you put things wherever, and we'll just fill it out from there. And then we just each took a corner and seen how it went. Every turn, we rolled off to see who could go first, because I don't know how it would have been more equal to be like, hey, you go first, and I go, then you go, and then I go, then blah,
Yeah,
blah,
sticking
blah.
with the first roll off would have been interesting.
Yeah, sticking with first roll off would have been interesting, but I feel like people would have gotten fucked.
Oh yeah, no, there definitely would have been some of that, because Alex and I had the first two. I had the first move. Alex had the second move of that. So
I went last.
you went last one, Evan, and you. If that would have continued, that yeah.
Yeah, I would not have done very. I mean, I was the first one out anyway. I will admit to that.
But
It would-
you did some damage.
Oh, I did some work. That's because no one shot me first turn. First turn, everybody focused on everybody else. Like,
Look,
I was like,
focused on the one who put something
no,
closest to
that
me,
makes sense.
and that was my first turn. My second turn was waiting. I focused on what was the closest to me at first.
Yeah, Alex's cell suits.
So then I had to wait for the rest of my army to show up because Evan wanted to use the other rules,
Yeah, the beta rules where you couldn't deep strike or bring reserves in on turn one.
which
And
really kind of fucks my.
yeah, but you came in
I
second.
did. It's one of those things that'd be interesting to see what would have happened first turn though.
Oh yeah, it would have been very interesting. Because everybody.
Alex had to wait too.
Yeah, Alex had reserves. Evan didn't, but he could have done reserves. Instead, he did a flyer. And everybody at first, like, that flyer, were like, oh, shit, that's the only
It
flyer
was the
on the board.
only flyer on the board,
And
so
then-
it made a quick target.
And it moved up into the middle, so
Yeah.
it was very easy. I
He
expected it to
moved
come
it
at me.
he moved it right up to attack me first turn.
Yeah, and then I moved in my Psychic Orc to smite the shit out of it for a D6 smite. I was originally going to jump. I had a squad of 30 Orcs that I was going to jump across the table turn one, but then Evan moved in the middle, and I was like, well, I could try to charge him right where he's at in the middle. I'm just going to move everybody there. And of course, I fail my charge rolls. And then everybody starts going to the middle. And turn two, I was like, fuck this, I'm jumping these boys out of here. Made the weird boy, the Psyker, use the jump psychic power and jumped him all around your big hive tyrant.
Yeah.
But that was after you destroyed the.
I finished destroying the jet.
Yeah, you destroyed the plane
And the Sanskrit.
and Evan's transport. Yes, the sand skirt for the Dark Eldar. And yeah, he didn't look too happy after
He was
that.
not happy at all about that.
But that's what happens when you put things in the middle of the field. And the biggest targets at that point in time.
Yeah.
Besides you being the other biggest target at that point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a shit ton of orcs that would get killed easily, and then there was Alex with a couple of gun line shotgun guys, and he was waiting to bring in his crisis suits that are big, kind of like Gundam style battle suits that have a lot of guns on them. But so yeah, I jumped my orcs over to your side of the table and just fucking smashed the shit out of your hive tyrant
And the Bible.
and the biovore. It was great. It was great. Took out half your army.
He did.
And then I turned to the left and went for Alex, and he just massacred me. In the next 2 turns, I was massacred.
He slowly picked away at your
Yes.
guys as you between charges and everything else.
Mhm. So even though, let's not follow it chronologically, we'll just go with what happened with me and Alex. So yeah, I was fighting against Alex. He shot away all my orcs except for my war boss, which is a big orc who has a lot of wounds on him, and he was in a truck. And he jumped out of the truck, killed all his crisis suits, and then Alex shot my truck with a powerful weapon. And when any vehicles
To be
explode,
fair, this took your turn, his turn, your turn,
and his
and
turn
then
again.
his turn again.
Yes, this took like 2 turns.
It was a point at a time with each unit.
Yes, only 1 wound off this 10 wound or 10 HP hull points, however you'd like to look at it, truck. and a shitty truck. They don't take much to destroy them. They're pretty weak. But it took a lot of plinking to get it down. Then once you finally blew it up, it actually exploded. You roll a dice when something gets destroyed, a vehicle, and on a 6 it explodes, and it does mortal wounds, which can't be counteracted to things within 6 inches of it. Well, he blew it up, and it did 3 mortal wounds. So not only did it blow up all my guys I had left, it blew up all but Alex's commander and 1 shotgun guy. So Alex was like, I'm doing this thematical for the greater good. I'm just leaving these fucking bugs and these dark elves to fight it off.
Yeah. So while all of that was happening, I also, so my second turn, I brought in my Trigon Prime and my Hormigons that were with him. And that was, I brought them up on the other side of the map, which was when you were still in your charge formation, because I got three of your guys in that turn, while also murdering out Evan's stuff.
Yes.
And then Evan decided he was going to continue focusing on me. He had a chance to change focus to take out the thing that was just murdering him. But he continued to focus on me. And like, fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. So he continued to go back and forth. He got my Trigon down, my Trigon Prime down to like halfway.
Yeah, and it had 12 wounds. It got down to like 6 to 4 or 4. Yeah, it was down to 4.
Down to 4. It was over halfway. And so I backed him up into the corner.
But after he started moving things towards you.
Well, that was the thing. So he had your Psyker, is what he was attacking still.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, he split his guys up and sent half of them backwards at me when he could have pivoted around the rock to where you and Alex were going to be, where Alex was. Alex actually pushed you off at that point.
Yeah.
You had to move in the rest of the way for that fight. At that point, Evan could have moved in and done a good amount of damage over there, but instead he moved backwards.
I mean, things still worked out.
It worked out in his favor. So I mean, at the end of the day, he's still.
It was just one of those things. I was like, you're moving closer to the things that are going to eat your face.
Right. He
has range. They had range too. They could have flown away, and you would have had to walk up the field to get to them.
Right. And that's why, because when he did that, I was like, that was a strange move. He's like, oh, like they're fluffy. I don't care, fluffy. I'm like, I don't care either. Yeah. I'm just saying, that wasn't what I was expecting you to do. That's all I meant. My expectation was that you would have pivoted around the rock to go to the guys that were already there closer. Mm-hmm. Or move away from my guy rather than moving closer to make it easier for me to attack.
Yeah, move away and shoot. Just keep moving away and shoot. That would be my tactic.
Yeah.
Not get closer to the thing that can literally bite your face off and kill him in 1 round.
Yeah.
It took 2, but yeah.
Right. But yeah, so you moved his guys closer to mine. I went in for the melee. I got all but 1 at that point of his flyers. And then the next turn, I backed my Trigon up into the corner, just out of range of his stuff, even when he moved, which he wasn't particularly happy about either.
It was a smart thing to do.
It was. And it was like, whatever. So I finished off the next turn I finished off his last flyer, and then I just consolidated closer with my Hormigons. And it was just a look of, well, that seems stupid. But I had a plan. Uh-huh. And my plan worked out.
Oh, yes.
So for the most part, it worked out because it worked out the way I wanted it to, at least. He finished off the Hormigons, but I had the Hydra High Fleet ability.
Yes.
And so I used the stratagem where I could bring them back. I can bring back a unit
of infantry.
Yeah. So the Hormigons being the only one that I had, I could bring them back, an equal amount. So if it would have been like a 30, Hormigon thing, I would have had 30 Hormigons, but I had 10. So I brought back my 10 Hormigons. Used my last 2 stratagems, or my last 2 command points. And so I had the Trigon in the corner and the Hormigons coming in from the side. Mm-hmm. And I pinned him in. And I had my attacks. Then he killed off the Trigon. I finished off his sniper guys and blaster, and all he had left was
the Archon.
The Archon.
Yep.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah, it came down to 1 model on the table.
It was the hardest model to kill, which was... Yeah. I wasn't sure if that would have been better, killing the 3 guys or trying to kill him. I figured killing to go for 3 guys.
So when you had the 10 Hormigons still, I think the best thing would have been to have them all attack the Archon. Because I think if I remember right, the Archon has a 2+ save, which means if you roll a dice and you get a 2 or better, you don't take a wound. But once he fails that, he no longer has a 2+ save.
Oh, okay.
So if you would have forced him to roll a crap ton of dice and he got a 1, he had no command points left, then he would have not been able to have that 2+ save anymore. So all the other attacks would just go through. And that's the thing. So
Okay, so I didn't know that at all.
exactly. And so I forgot to say it though. He would have had to roll it one at a time because if he fails that first one, all the others are not at 2+. And so I wasn't trying to give anybody too much hints or whatnot, but that is how to kill.
I actually asked for the statistics and things I needed to know about those characters, and that never came up. That wasn't a thing that was
That's true.
brought up because I was like, I don't know anything about them. So when I'm trying to figure out attack, I'm looking, can I get the stats and stuff on these characters? Because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I think he did just give you toughness, strength.
He gave you toughness, strength, attack,
Yeah.
and the 2+ save. He just had a 2+ save.
Yeah, so for next time, after that 2+ save is gone, he no longer has it.
So if that would have changed things. If I had known that was a one that once it fails, it's gone.
Yeah.
That I would have changed my tactic at that point, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I was not at all.
I wasn't trying to tell anybody what to do
Right,
or piss
no,
anybody else off or anything.
No, that's fair. But like I said, I did ask about the
stats,
actual stat, and that would have been an important thing.
Very important, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was one of those things. Me and Alex were standing back. He's like, "Who would you bet on?" I'm like, I don't know if I'd fucking bet on this. This is not. I'm not a betting man, and I would not bet on this fucking thing because it's too close. It's too close.
Yeah.
Very close game. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, thanks. I made the moves that I thought were right, and then for the most part,
Oh yeah, you did very well. I think for it being like your third, fourth game.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was literally like your fourth game.
That was the first army I built that I hadn't shown you. What do you think about this? I just built an army. I was like, I want to try this. And figure it would show up fresh and.
It worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty damn good. And so I commend you for that, sir. Everybody did very well, actually. It was one of those things that playing the 4-way match of 40K, everything changes. You can't go in there with a strategy like Alex was saying. You have to go in there and just deal with what happens. Like, first the Flyer was a big deal. Yeah. And your Hive Tyrant and Biovore. And then those were taken out, but then the Marlock came, or not the Marlock, Trigon Prime came up, and then the Crisis
That's
came
great.
in.
Everyone moved away from the Trigon Prime at first.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that makes sense. Made a lot of sense. That's when Evan came back to me, I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think it would have been finished off earlier if it was just a run back and shoot type deal.
Yeah.
But it worked out, and it was intense. It was intense.
Intense.
No, not intense. We weren't camping. Not that day. Well, Alex was doing a little bit of camping back there and making sure that he was far enough away from the orcs and just shooting. But that's what the Tals do.
Yeah,
it was a good strategy. And yeah, the Dark Eldar actually did pretty damn well. Everything of theirs getting blown up by turn 2 and then just foot slogging it across the board. They did really damn well.
Yeah, they did.
So everybody had a good army, a lot of fun. And we'll see what we do again. We'll post some pictures from that so you guys can see what we're talking about on our Facebook. So what else besides 40K? What type of gaming news is there?
Well, there's a lot of E3 things are starting to come up. That's going to be in June. So I'm starting to get a lot of the time slots showing up for different people. Nintendo put out their information. They're doing theirs June 12th, I think. Their actual E3 presentation, Nintendo Direct E3 that they do, is going to be mostly focused on Smash Brothers for the Switch.
Which I like to find out what's coming in Smash Brothers, but that they're focusing on it.
So it's
like, come on, we know Smash Brothers is coming. Just put out the game. You don't need to.
Well, the game's actually completely playable at E3. Oh. They're running an invitational tournament at E3.
Interesting.
So the game's done, I guess is what that means.
I would say so. Maybe it'll be out by July.
Yeah. Again, this is where things get weird for me. So first off, it's disheartening because it would have been nice to get more information on like Pokemon Switch, which we have nothing.
I agree.
Metroid Prime 4.
That would be another great one.
All we know of is that they're making it.
Yes.
We got a title screen. That's all we got. Or any other number of games, like new games that could be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The other weird thing for me is that the fact that they're focusing on Smash Brothers, it kind of excites me because maybe that means it's not a port.
It definitely isn't. I think it's 100% for sure it's not a port.
And so that's exciting, but at the same time, it just feels like everything else is. Like it felt like it's starting to feel like they're pushing this game out because nothing else is lining up the way they wanted it to.
Yeah.
It feels like the smash the glass in case of emergency.
It could be. It definitely could be.
And that worries me because that could mean that the game itself is going to be buggy or not as good as Smash 4 just was. the Wii U and the 3DS one, that was a good Smash game.
Oh yes, it was great.
So if this doesn't meet that same expectation, that's that's another reason why this is starting to feel more like a rushed, hey, we can make this really quick because we have the basics and we're just going to add some newer things to it.
I think I'd still be okay with Smash just being like Smash 4 and just with a little bit better stuff.
Right, no, and that's kind of what, that's essentially what you would hope for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what the hope is. But the worrisome part is that even a port, because Lord knows Sonic is a great example of this, ports of Sonic games that have been butchered.
Oh yes.
Just absolutely butchered. And they're just ports. Like, they shouldn't have been an issue of porting it over, like a Sega Genesis game, porting it over to a PC or porting it over to, Xbox or whatever they port it to. Like, it shouldn't be that much of an issue, and they've had horrible times with their ports because they rush them and they have bad development cycles, and that's not really Nintendo's thing,
but it
can happen, and if that's what this ends up being, that's going to be really disappointing.
Yeah, I hope it's not a bad port.
I mean, it's not that I've heard anything, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a unique game. I'd say at least, okay, I said 100% earlier. I'd say at least 90% chance it's going to be a unique game. I think they're going to do a lot more to Smash 4, hopefully. Bring a lot of what they had there, but introduce some new characters. Hopefully, maybe a new mode or two or something like that.
Hopefully.
And keep it nice and fresh for the Switch, because they need it. And the Switch needs a Smash. I feel it.
Oh, it definitely does. I agree 100%. It definitely does. And I feel like they're probably going to use this to be their launching for the new Nintendo Online program, whatever.
Which hopefully will be good.
I guess there's some details supposed to be coming out about that soon, if I read that article correctly.
Maybe E3?
But that's the thing. There's a good reason for Smash. Smash has a lot to offer for the Switch.
Oh, yes.
And I agree that it should be on there, and it surprised me as all hell that we're getting one as quickly as we are. But it also worries me that, like, what's happening with these other games, or why are we pushing this game out so quickly?
Yeah, I want to know more details about Pokemon.
Right.
Everybody's putting out dumb leaks of it.
Well, there's a patent. They just patented something for the game. I tried reading it. It just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm sorry. I know about some sort of patent, but I don't know anything else because it just the concept of what I was reading just did not click for me.
There's always those weird patent things, and I don't know that you can take too much out of it.
Yeah, no, you can't base the whole thing off of it. But I would have loved to have seen them say, "Hey, we're gonna have more stuff on these games rather than Smash Brothers."
Exactly.
Because the focus on Smash Brothers to me just means that there better be a lot to Smash Brothers because it's a Smash Brothers game. It's not like Smash Brothers itself is not a deep game.
Oh no,
it's
a brawler.
It's a brawler. It's a very fun game, but it's not a deep game. So I don't understand why you need to dedicate 30 minutes out of an hour to Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that that's what they're choosing is going to be 30 minutes, but I'm just assuming if that's their main focus, that's what it's going to get.
Yeah, I would assume so too. But like, there's other things that I'm hoping for, like a Pikmin. Love another Pikmin.
The last Pikmin game was awful.
Hopefully.
Well, I'm just saying, I remember the last Pikmin game was bad. I remember hearing really bad reviews about
it.
The
first one was epic, though. I loved Pikmin.
Maybe it was the first two were pretty good. The first one was really good. The second one are pretty good. I want to say there's another one that came out after that. I don't know that it was Pikmin 3, but maybe it's something else.
Yeah, I've never actually played Pikmin 2. I know the one for the DS wasn't that good. It was supposed to be a side-scrolling adventure.
That may be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I actually was going back and playing Pikmin on a ROM at one point in time, and I had a lot of fun with it, but then my save got fucked up, and I got pissed because I got like 5 fucking parts in one night, before one night cycle came around, and I was like, I don't want to fucking go through that all again, and I haven't touched it again since, so... maybe I should do that. Pick it up again, because I never beat the game, but I had so much fun playing through all the levels. I can't remember why I stopped playing that game. That was back when the GameCube was out, so that's years ago. Probably got another game for the GameCube, and so that's why I didn't finish it.
Probably.
That's how I was when I was a kid. That's why I always want to beat games before I buy a new game nowadays. I'm very big on that.
Still not.
It happens. I know how that goes. Well, for other fighters, though, there's apparently more fighters coming out for DBZ Fighter.
Yes. So I remember bringing up that Fuse Zamasu was one of them.
Who the fuck is that?
It's from Dragon Ball Super. It's Goku Black and like a Supreme Kai character Fuse.
Okay.
And then there's the one that they actually just announced officially announced today, I think it was, or maybe like last night, is Vegito Blue. So that is the Goku Vegeta fusion with the earrings. So it's supposed to be the permanent fusion, not the fusion dance.
Ah, I didn't know they permanently fused.
Well, I mean, so it's supposed to be a permanent fusion, but then they break the fusion. They've broken that fusion like
The
twice.
temporary permanent fusion.
Yeah, right. They in the Majin Buu saga, they use the ring. I'm pretty sure they use the earrings at one point in the Majin Buu saga because that would give them enough power to defeat defeat Kid Buu. Blah blah blah. And then something with Kid Buu breaks that fusion for them, so it wasn't permanent. And I want to say there was like another time somewhere in the probably not canon that it happened.
I wonder.
But then there's also the fusion dance version.
Is that a weird like polygamous relationship between Chi-Chi, Vegeta Blue, and Bulma? Like, how's that work? Interesting.
I don't know. So yeah, I'm interested to see what this character is gonna be like for Vegeta Blue. Yeah, Vegeta Blue, because it's the Super Saiyan Blue power up thing, but with
All
Vegeta.
the power.
So it should be interesting. I'm curious to see what that one's gonna be like.
It should be pretty interesting.
And it's one of those things. It's another. So we're adding essentially two more Gokus.
Yeah, which is weird. There's so many goddamn Gokus in that game.
So I have the Zamasu fuse, which was with Goku Black, and I had Vegeta fuse, which is Goku and Vegeta fuse. It's like, and then at some point, it's still looking like we're gonna get a regular Goku and a regular Vegeta.
So there's gonna be even more.
Yeah.
Why can I not think of his name right now? Yajirobe and the cat. I want Yajirobe and the cat.
Yeah.
I can't remember the cat's name right now, but
I can't remember.
yeah, they would be great. Eating sensu beans and then powering up real quick or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It'd be another funny group to have.
Like, they just need to do more unique shit like that.
Yeah.
Or
there's rumor that we're supposed to get 17 by himself at some point. Like right now, you see
cool.
17 with 18.
I like Dr. Giro too.
Yeah, Dr. Giro and his other one, fat powdery guy.
Yeah. What was that? Did he have a number?
He was a number. So
11, 10?
no, I think were they 20 and 21 or something like that.
Maybe they were higher
No,
numbers.
because 21 is the Majin character. So maybe 18 and 19 and 20.
Yeah, I don't remember what number they were.
I can't remember now. But
yeah,
they had numbers. They had their own numbers.
There's a lot of unique guys they can bring in, and it feels like they're not doing it.
Yeah.
It feels like they're not doing it.
No, there's a lot. I mean, and the weird thing is, like, so we're getting all these other forms of Goku. There's the last form of Goku from Dragon Ball Super was the Instinct form, which has, like, silvery hair and whatnot. So I'm waiting for that to show up in the game as well. That's probably going to be, like, the last one they give, I'm assuming. But, again, it's another fucking Goku. I like my Gokus, and I like my Vegetas. But we're reaching critical mass here.
Oh, yeah, it's going to implode very soon.
You could put in so many other characters. There's so many other choices you could make.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have Weiss as a character to fight with. I mean, you don't have Hercule.
No, Hercule would be great,
I'm
too.
surprised you don't have Hercule.
Put in another version of Cell. There's so many versions of Cell.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see the original version of Cell using his fucking tail.
Yeah, no, that'd be another fun one. So there's another character you put in.
This is so much that could be done.
Garlic would be a fun character to put in there. I'm trying to think of some of the villains that they had in the various things.
Yeah.
And there's characters you could probably pull from the original Dragon Ball
anime.
That'd be cool too. I mean, there was an android in that one from the Red Ribbon Army that they had. There's the May, I think is her name. She would sneeze, and you had two different Mays. One that was like, I'm gonna kill everything, and one that was like super sweet. I'm gonna make you a dinner.
Yeah, I'm still watching through that. I haven't gone too far.
Fucking Roshi, like.
Yeah, Master Roshi would be great, but you never know.
King Kai and the monkey.
Yeah. Oh my God, if they had King Kai in it, that'd be so much fun.
Fuck any of the Kais. Yeah. Like you have Supreme Kai, you have King Kai. There's a whole pantheon of Kais.
They could do so much with it, but they aren't. Unfortunately,
they're not. I mean, they have there's a good cast. There's a good group. I'm just. Like you said, there's just too many Gokus. I agree that there are too many. I enjoy them. I use the Gokus like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But I at the same time, I agree there's too many Gokus.
Well, they just want them to have all the power.
There's someone else who wants all the power.
Is it time?
I don't know if you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, I don't think so. I think it's time.
Time.
So, spoiler warning, a.k.a. we're talking about Infinity War.
Well, I'm talking about it.
Yeah, he's talking about it. I'm just listening.
Yeah, he's going to ask questions if he has questions. I'm absolutely going to ask him. See, Sammy hasn't seen it yet. So, again, spoiler warning. I'm going to just move on into this now.
I haven't seen any of them.
You've seen some of them.
Not the Avengers.
Well, not
any of the Avengers.
But I mean, when I say some of them, I mean like Marvel movies.
Yeah, I've seen a couple here and there.
you don't know very much about any of this type of stuff. So
No.
it's like, I know you're saying you might go see it. Depends.
Yeah.
So if there's something you don't want to know, just tell me.
No, just go through it. Whatever.
In general, I mean,
I'll understand it better.
yeah, I guess.
First off, what were your thoughts on it?
Thoughts? I enjoy the movie. It's good. I can confidently say it's a good movie. I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Does it drop everything you need, everything you're doing, and go see it right now? Good.
If you like the Marvel movies, yes. If you haven't seen any of the Marvel movies, you could probably wait to go see it. I recommend seeing it though, because I mean, my biggest issue with this movie is that, and it makes sense. It's not that it's not that it shouldn't be an unexpected thing. It's just that because there's so many Marvel movies before it, it actually holds the weight of these other Marvel movies. So for instance, you could probably go see Avengers 2 without seeing most of the Marvel movies and not feel completely lost. With Infinity War, it's built on all of those movies.
Yeah.
It's built on the end credits scene from the original Avengers movie. It's built on, Thor 2 and Avengers, the original Avengers. It's built on Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. I know they show.
Spider-Man is... You could probably get away with not seeing Homecoming. Again, there's always these little things that if you don't see these movies, there's going to be little bits and pieces of things that you're not going to understand. If you don't see Spider-Man, you may not understand these two different suits that he now has. So he shows up in the suit that he had at the end of Homecoming, but then very shortly into the movie, he gets the Iron Spider costume, which is a Iron Man made another suit for Spider-Man that's more akin to his suits.
Interesting.
And has more adaptations to it than the standard Spider-Man suit. They show that in the Spider-Man movie, and Tony offers it to him, but
he doesn't use it.
He turns it down. He just says, "No, I'm going to stick with this. I'm not going to go
too much yet."
But then Tony gives that to him like real early on in the movie. So that might be something you kind of like don't really understand, but you don't necessarily need to. If you don't see Ant-Man, you may not understand that Ant-Man has his own family. He has a daughter and stuff like that. So after Civil War, he decided he was just staying away from the Avengers stuff and whatnot. And so those are all things there are little things here and there you might miss if you don't see these movies.
Yeah.
The fact that Wong and Doctor Strange are essentially the only mystics left to defend the universe of mystic threats and things like that. Like, that's an important thing. When Doctor Strange gets kidnapped by the aliens and Wong is the only one left to defend the Sanctum Sanctorum, he has to stay there. He can't go. He's like, I can't go anywhere. I gotta defend this. Those are things you might be like, well, why the fuck can't somebody else defend that?
Yeah.
Well, it's because there is nobody else. And if you don't see, Doctor Strange, you may not know that.
Yeah. Very reliant.
So that's kind of where my issue goes with thinking of it as its own movie. Is that it's not its own movie. It's
a culmination.
It's a culmination movie. And then I told you this before. To me, I would liken it to the Two Towers, the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. There's a lot of shit that comes before that movie.
Yes.
And there's a lot of shit that happens in that movie. And there's still a huge plot thread at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
So if you just watch the Two Towers, you're probably going to be a little confused. If you've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, if you're not seeing Fellowship, you have no clue, like, why is this guy the White Wizard? And, like, okay, what's so great about seeing him?
Like, people show up in, like, different costumes and different looks that you may recognize them from the earlier movies, but they don't look the same because they've been on the run for the last 2 years or whatever, or, someone's been disappeared for, like, 7 years or something. Like, there's things that happen that if you're not, privy to them, the fact that at the end of Age of Ultron, Thor and not Thor, but Hulk leaves Earth and ends up on this crazy planet for Ragnarok.
Bye.
And then through Ragnarok, Thor meets up with them, and then they come back and
yeah, that's one movie I've seen.
So they come back and like they're on their ship, and that's where the movie starts. Is at the very end of Ragnarok, at the end credit scene, you see the ship come in, this big ship come in over their ship. They go, oh, nothing else is standing in our way. We're gonna get this done, and then this big ass ship shows up.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the credits. This is where Infinity War picks up. After the destruction of that ship, that is where the Infinity War picks up.
Okay,
and then you see Thor, Loki, Heimdall, and Hulk. Loki's trying to basically con Thanos into letting them go, and then he's gonna give them the Tesseract, and then Hulk comes in and starts trying to beat up.
Be the Hulk.
Yeah, he starts being the Hulk. He starts trying to beat up Thanos, and then Thanos beats the crap out of the Hulk.
Of course.
And then he ends up getting the Tesseract and crushes it, and he gets his second stone because he already went to Xandar and got the Power Stone. So he has the Power Stone and the Space Stone.
The Space Stone.
The Power, Space, Reality, Mind, Time.
There's a lot of them. Do they go on for
There's
infinity?
6. There's 6 of them. So you have Power, Time, Mind, Reality, Space, Soul.
Okay.
Those are all the stones. And he goes through trying to collect each one of them. Thanos has his Black Order, which are his 4 super thugs, we'll call them. They're the like...
The Ginyu Squad.
Yeah, I mean, they're the 4 big bads of the movie, essentially. And then there's Thanos, who is the big bad boss.
Mm-hmm.
And so this movie does an awesome thing where they have these 4 big bads, and that's mainly who they focus on. I mean, like, Thanos is a big focus of the movie, but as far as the fighting goes, they mainly focus on them.
Those 4 guys.
They kill off those 4 guys, and then at the end of the movie, it's Thanos versus all the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Avengers that are on Earth, because they actually split up the team early on. So the team is already fractured after Civil War. You have Steve Rogers' team, you have Iron Man's team, and Steve Rogers' team's kind of doing their own thing, and Iron Man's kind of doing his own thing. And then the first attack comes down shortly after Doctor Strange pulls Tony aside, and they're trying to talk to him with Bruce and be like, hey, Thanos is coming.
It's going to happen.
And then he shows up to try and take the Time Stone from Doctor Strange. Well, 2 of his guys show up to take this Time Stone from Doctor Strange.
Peons.
And then the fight ensues, and then they get Doctor Strange. The one guy captures Doctor Strange and takes him to the ship, and Spider-Man chases after him. And then eventually Iron Man hitches up. Spider-Man gets his new suit. Then they're all on the ship later on, and they're all fighting the guy, and they suck him out of the ship. And I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. And I love the writing for Spider-Man, because he's quippy and he's funny, and he fits the time frame that he's in, because he'll make things like references like, oh, that old Star Wars movie, A New Hope or something. Like, he makes jokes about that. But like this time around, he goes, have you ever seen this old movie Aliens?
Nice.
Because he's like a high school freshman or something. Like, he's a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he is in the movies, and so he makes these kind of references that as someone currently in that situation would probably make the same reference.
Yeah.
They like the movie, like, oh, that old movie, and you're like, that's not that. Oh, it is. Oh man. So they do that, and they blow a hole in the side of the ship and suck the guy out, and then they patch up the ship, and then they fly it in, and then
Do it over again.
yeah, and then eventually they run into part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but part of the Guardians of the Galaxy split up too, because some of them were going to go to nowhere, and then Thor wanted to go to make his new hammer axe, and so they split up the team that way. And so Thor has Rocket and Groot, and then the rest of the team goes off to nowhere, and then Gamora gets captured, and then they end up on Titan with the Avengers that ended up there.
There's a lot of shit going on.
And then eventually Thor makes it back to Earth, and in an amazing fashion, by the way. There's so many like awesome oh yes moments in that movie to ultimately be ended with Thanos getting all of the stones in a really cool fashion. So like the Avengers have this Vision has the last stone, which will be the Mind Stone that Thanos is going after, and it's implanted in his head. It's what helped create Ultron.
Yeah.
But it's also what helped give him his personality, on top of like Banner and Tony and Ultron also being part of his personality.
Mm-hmm.
And so they realized Thanos is coming. They already knew Thanos was coming for the stone. Now they're trying to get the stone out, and they're going to try and destroy the stone. Then two more of the minions show up. Actually, 3 of them show up, and they're all fighting in Wakanda. And they eventually they let him into the wall, and they're fighting him. And then Thor shows up, and Vision they have to stop we'll call it surgery on Vision's stone.
Yeah.
So Vision can go fight, because this guy shows up and is trying to take the stone away. So Vision has to fight him, and then he fights him, and then they kill him. Captain America kills him, and then Thanos shows up with all the other stones already in his gauntlet. Mm-hmm. And he's coming in. They're all taking turns trying to fight him, and he beats them all down. And then it's just Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Thanos. Scarlet Witch is their big plan was, we'll get the stone out of Vision's head, and then we'll destroy it. Mm-hmm. And Scarlet Witch is the only one that can create enough power to destroy it.
Didn't work.
No. Well, yes and no. So there's this really cool moment where they didn't get the stone out of his head, and Vision tells Scarlet Witch, you have to destroy the stone, and it may kill me, but you have to do this.
Yeah.
And so she starts doing it, and then she's always trying to fight Thanos off, and then she focuses on it, and she blows it up, right? And you're like, interesting, okay. But you forget he has the fucking time stone now. He turns back time, and then rips it out of Vision's head.
Beast.
So he still gets it. And he's like, hey, there's this great speech and stuff. So there's a great speech, and it's like, we've all come so far. There's no reason to cry, and the sacrifice will be okay. He changes time and rips it out and gets his stone. And then Thor comes in and they fight, and then Thanos snaps his finger, and half the universe, half the entire universe, the population of the entire universe is dying.
Dies. Bam.
And so a lot of Avengers die, a lot of people die. I kind of had a realization that it clicked real hard in my head. There's a rumor, well, it's not really a rumor, but Hawkeye will be in Avengers 4.
Okay.
But he's not going to go by Hawkeye. He should be going by Ronin, which is one of his other personas in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that off screen, his wife and kid got killed. They introduced the wife and kid in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they make reference to that. Him and Ant-Man, they have families. They're staying away from this.
They're staying away from all this shit.
And half the universe just died, and I guarantee you...
He's coming back because of that.
Yeah, he comes back because that was the only reason they would give him a reason to come back and fight.
That would make sense. I could see that.
So that kind of clicked hard in my head afterwards. And it's weird. So like this is where the ending happens.
Mm-hmm.
So he snaps his fingers. Everyone's turning to dust. These people are turning to dust. And then he goes, you see him on this planet watching the sunrise, just like he said he was going to do. And he's smiling. His entire plan was that this is our only universe.
Mm-hmm.
Universes, resources are finite.
And so he wanted to destroy half.
If you have too many people, there's not enough resources. And this is what, apparently this happened on his planet Titan.
Mm-hmm.
He tried telling them, they said there's too many people, we're prosperous, but there's too many people, we don't have enough resources. And he made a suggestion of, let's just kill everybody at random. Or half the population at random.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter rich or poor, it'll be a random selection of how it happens.
That's an interesting concept of villainry.
Yes.
Everybody needs to die for the greater good.
Yeah.
For the greater good, going back to the town.
Right. And so that's what his purpose is. His purpose is to wipe out in this movie, his purpose is to wipe out half of the universe so that they may prosper.
Sounds like an interesting movie, but yeah, I'd be lost halfway fucking through.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It's gonna be, if you go see it, it's gonna be tough because you haven't seen a lot of stuff.
We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, it just ends. So all the superheroes, I mean, they lost.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, what's next?
Do?
What's next? And I assume they know what's next is they get their own Infinity Gauntlet, they get their stones, and they bring all those people back.
I mean, you got to do it in true Dragon Ball fashion.
Right. Well, and also so Spider-Man died in the movie. There's a Spider-Man 2 movie that's already in the works. Black Panther died in the movie. He's already they're working on trying to get the Black Panther 2 movie director already done. Yeah, there's movies lined up. So it's not like...
It's not the end of the universe.
It's not the end of right. It's not the end of the universe. It's not like these characters are all staying dead. I imagine everyone who's destroyed by the Infinity Gauntlet will be restored. People like Heimdall, all of the Asgardians that were left, Loki, and Gamora. Gamora is the only one out of that group that I think will come back. Mm-hmm. I don't know that anybody else will.
Definitely an interesting plot point. And I think I kind of like Thanos' idea of, like, as a villain of... destroy half the universe just so we can save the other half.
Right. Well, that's the thing. He's not going out for vengeance. He's not going out to rule the universe to just rule the universe. He's doing what he thinks is actually right.
Yeah.
Which honestly makes him more dangerous and makes him more interesting.
Yes, it's definitely more interesting if he believes this is the right thing to do. I mean,
which, to jump back to another Marvel movie, you can pick a couple of them. Alex brought up, Vulture from the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. Mm-hmm. That's a similar process. He wasn't trying to be villainous for being villainous. He was trying to be villainous. He was being villainous to be able to support his child.
Yeah.
In that movie. And you go to a more recent one with Black Panther. The villain, Killmonger, was being villainous. Well, he had a revenge plot. There was a revenge plot in there. But he was also doing it because of the wrongs that were being committed to Africans, anyone with African descent across the world.
Yeah.
So these are villains who
are doing something for what they believe is
right. They have a belief that actually makes it for what their purpose for doing what they're doing is.
I like them putting that depth into the villains.
Yes. We don't get that very much in the Marvel movies, which is has been a big complaint.
Many movies, actually.
Yeah, the Marvel movies being so pumped out, that tends to be a big complaint that the villains are usually fairly shallow.
So, 1 to 10, what would you give it?
There's only 6 Infinity Stones. I guess we'll give it 50 gauntlets.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't know. It was a good movie. Definitely worth seeing. If you've seen the Marvel movies, I highly recommend it. I would say easily at like 8 or a 9. If you haven't seen the movies, solid 7 still. I think it's still an enjoyable movie. It's just there's a lot of continuity that you're missing.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Well, with that, anything else you have to talk about?
I mean, there's just random facts I can give you, like the fact that I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I've been finding things out that just kind of surprised me. The original Infinity Gauntlet it was just Thanos' gauntlet. Like, he had 2 gauntlets, and it was just his gauntlet that he was putting the stones on. Like, it wasn't a special gauntlet. It was just a gauntlet.
I'm going to put it on my hand. Makes sense.
It was one of those random things. It's much like the Captain America's birthday, like Steve Rogers' birthday. It's July 4th. It's one of those things I didn't think about, but it makes fucking sense.
Oh, yeah, it makes complete sense.
Like, you hear it and you go, oh, yeah, that makes complete sense, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
This is just
A
random.
lot of little Easter eggs.
Yeah, just random facts.
Always nice when they put Easter eggs into things.
I think I saw a Punisher shirt in that movie.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen any of the new Punisher stuff. I might need to watch that.
It's only one season. Like, there's the Daredevil 2 season where he was introduced on Netflix, and then there's just the other season on Netflix. It was alright. I don't know. I was a bigger Punisher fan. I haven't been as much of a Punisher fan these days.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into it. I haven't gotten into huge much with comics. Like I've always said, 40K kind of fills my comic thematic world for me.
One of the big comic guys, Dan Abnett, writes
40K books. So. Yep, and he's one of the best.
It all kind of connects.
It all circles around. Well, with that, you guys let us know what you think of Infinity War. Was it good? Was it bad? What are your thoughts? Was it ugly?
I mean, they were ugly.
You saying Thanos is ugly?
He does have a nutsack for a chin.
Oh. He's a bald Chinian.
Sure.
You heard it here, guys. Thanos is a bald Chinian. Goes right into South Park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's infinity. He could go anywhere.
It can't. It's everywhere and nowhere all at once.
I want to go to nowhere.
Me too. It's a giant floating head in space.
Let's go to nowhere. And, well, with that, we will leave you till next time. I'm Sam.
I'm Tom.
And we're Geeks with a Podcast.
Hitter.
Bye. Podcast.
Hitter.
Bye. Podcast.
Hitter.
Bye.